So welcome everyone. We are here with Crystal from Crystal Clear ESL curriculum. Is that right, Crystal? Am I saying it right?
Thanks. Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for organizing this. I'm really excited for myself and the whole community here at Crystal Clear ESL to learn much more about Koala.
Yeah, totally. So are we. And so what we want to talk about today is our brand new product, Koala Go, and the benefits that it has for ESL teachers, especially ESL online teachers who teach students who have touch screens, iPads that require with Genially slides that require drag and drop.
Right.
So
this is super important to us because as you know, Crystal Clear ESL is founded on the Genially platform. And at the moment, there isn't a lot of choice out there for getting the full interactive experience. And I have teachers asking constantly, what can I use? What do you recommend? What's going to enable my student to have the best functionality to get everything that's built into the lessons out of it, to get the whole experience. So that's why I'm here, because I'm delighted to be able to recommend a platform that supports my lessons perfectly.
Yeah. I think it's a perfect, it fits perfectly your content and our platform. It's you have fantastic content and this is a fantastic contribution and we make the Genially slides that you create more interactive on both sides, so more collaborative. So cool, but enough blah blah. Let's get to it. So what I was thinking we could do today is I can share my screen and we can give you a walkthrough of how to get started with Koala. Don't worry, there's a free version of Koala, so we're not gonna ask you to pay today. You can just tag along, follow those different steps so that by the end of this quick training, you're all set and ready to go with Koala. So the first thing we're going to do is open any browser on your device, and you as the teacher, you're going to go to teachwithkoala.com. Let's teachwithkoala.com and press enter. And this is our website. This is the Koala website. And at the very top, you can see there's a link that takes you to Koala Go, which is the product we're going to talk about today. So go ahead and click on Open Koala Go in browser. And what I recommend you do for the future is just bookmark it or favorite it. Bookmark by clicking on the star here, and you will add a shortcut, which I have here. It will make your life easier in the future. No need to go to our website. So the first time you log in, you'll get sent to this screen. And you'll see that you can sign in. Either type your email if you have a non-Google account, or just click on the G here at the bottom if you want to log in with Gmail. Then let's go with this one. And it will log you in and load your activities. Crystal, do you have any questions so far?
Well, I'd like to know what exactly is meant by activities.
Yeah. Ben, do you want to take this one?
Yeah. So activity is sort of a term that we picked up from interacting with a lot of teachers. They seem to say that word a lot, and it seemed to be a term that referred to a lot of things, which was great for us. It seemed to refer to exercise, to games, to worksheets, segments of certain lessons. So it was kind of generic enough to encapsulate all these ideas.
All the things that Koala can do.
Exactly.
Or that you can do on it. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Cool.
And you'll see, we'll show you exactly an example of an activity, and it will make more sense. The first time you log in, you will have no activity listed here, but you can just go ahead and click on New Activity in the bottom right.
Okay.
And it will load what looks like a blank collaborative whiteboard. Okay, with tools at the bottom here, like the pencil. So you're all very familiar with collaborative whiteboard tools. You have sticky notes, You have text boxes here. And I should probably be, instead of sharing just this one window, I should be sharing my whole screen, but you can actually drag and drop images by simply opening your Finder window if you're in Mac, or Windows Explorer if you're on Windows, and drag and drop images to your activity. It's that simple.
You can actually drag multiple if you grab like a bunch.
And multiple, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. Is that the only way to get images or files onto the whiteboard, is to drag them in? There's no upload button anywhere?
Coming soon.
Oh, okay, great.
In maybe a week or two.
Oh gosh, you mean really soon? You guys are on it.
We don't operate in terms of years. We operate in terms of weeks. That's how.
Yeah. Good.
And you saw I just clicked on this little home icon that allows to adjust the size of the how do you say it, Ben? Adjust the size of the window.
The canvas.
Canvas.
So if you hold right click down on, you'll be able to move the canvas, your view on the whiteboard. And by the way, Xavier will show this in a second, but once your student is in the room, it automatically synchronizes on their end. So they see what you see. You can also zoom in to things. So let's say, for example, you want to zoom into this image or anywhere else for that matter. You can zoom in. And it also obviously zooms in on the student side. Now, you can easily get lost by doing this. So what do you do if you get lost? You press the home button at the bottom, and that will refocus all the content on your screen. So that's our whiteboard. Okay, nothing too fancy at the moment. We're obviously adding lots of features. We have a roadmap of 1,000 features, timers, flip cards, GIFs, videos, PDFs. It's going to be an all-in-one type of thing here.
So the 1 out of 1 and the plus sign at the top, is that because you could have multiple pages in this whiteboard, or?
Yeah, you can have multiple pages, as many as you want. Actually, there's no limit.
So actually, from a teaching perspective, if you have a day of 10 lessons, you could create 10 pages, 1 per student, and almost preload your classroom and then just flip to the next.
Exactly.
So that's one way to do it. Or you could have 1 activity per student. I know a lot of teachers like to do that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And they'll actually have a whole different activity for each of the students. It's really up to you. We're not telling you how to do it. It's just
okay. So each activity has its own, whiteboard canvas like this. And it saves. So if you come out, it'll save and it'll be the same as where you left it.
It's always, it's completely persistent, meaning that any change you do is saved. Even if your computer crashes, anything, you come back, it'll be as it was.
So as Ben is saying, it's pretty standard so far. Now I'm alone as the teacher here in my classroom. I'm going to try to invite a student. So to invite a student, simply go to the top left and click on Invite Students. And it's going to give you a link. This is my unique link that it's always the same. It's unique for me, and it's always the same for all of my students. So this is the one link that you can send to all your students. You click on it and it will copy to your clipboard. And then I'm going to send that to Ben. You already have my link, Ben?
I think you sent it to me yesterday, so I'll just grab that one.
That's good.
I love the simplicity of that single link and that you never get confused about where to be, but I'm sure you get this all the time. What about if you're teaching back-to-back lessons?
Yeah. So in a few days, we'll be adding waiting rooms. Okay. So whenever, similarly to what you have on Zoom, when a student comes in, you get a little pop-up. So if you have a student with Lily, and right after that, you have a student with Dylan, and you're still in your class with Lily, Dylan comes in a little bit early, you're going to get a pop-up that says, do you want to admit Dylan into the room? And you can wait. And on their end, they're seeing, your teacher will let you in soon. So that way you fully control who comes in your room and who doesn't.
Okay, so they're waiting outside, you're finishing up your lesson. You don't end up kicking them out when you come out of the activity though, do you?
No,
like it's not like closing the meeting on Zoom where everybody's just okay.
But good. if you need to kick him out, we're adding obviously a way for you to do it.
Right.
Yeah. So if it's
manually.
yeah, if it's somebody who you haven't invited, just trying to dip in,
So-
you can also say no, thank you. And
Yeah, so if somebody you haven't invited shows up, you'll see that and you won't admit them in the room to begin with.
yeah.
If there's a student that's lingering a little bit and they're not leaving and you want them to leave, you
you
can
can nudge
you
them.
can manually kick them out. That's the idea.
I love it. And then let's say you're in a classroom with one student and it's a group lesson. Can you admit multiple students into the same activity?
Yeah, you can have as many students as you want. I think,
Yeah.
well, right now, I mean, the limitation might just be we have to improve the UI. Like, we might not be able to see all the cameras. We have to make a little bit of
Okay.
improvement there.
Yeah. Have
But apart
options
from that,
maybe for the layout or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to be working on that. But other than that, there's no limits. You can just
Okay.
go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
curious, like, how many students can one teacher manage in this? That'd be interesting.
Cool.
But yeah, right now I'm in the classroom with Xav. Actually, I'm on my iPad, so my iPad is there,
Which
as you
is
can see.
huge. Can
Yeah.
we just repeat that, please, Benjamin? What device are you using?
An iPad. And actually, I'd like to mention that you don't even have to install an app on your iPad. It's
Nice.
really Xavier just sent me a link, which I opened in Safari
Right.
of my iPad, and I was just in there. That was it. Didn't have to do anything.
Yay. I mean, that's
Yeah.
huge because those major platforms that just crashed recently in China, almost all of them had iPad support or tablet support, and it was hugely relied upon. So it's a huge issue, is finding a platform that not only allows those interactive features but supports those interactive features on a touch screen. It's massive. So
Yeah.
does that stand to reason that students could theoretically access it on a mobile phone as well?
Yes, they can. It's not optimal because of the screen size. Like
Yeah.
things will be maybe a little bit small. I mean, it's doable, especially if you have like one of the bigger phones, like the
Yeah.
iPhone 13 Pro Max, whatever it's called, I forget. Or even like some Android phones are actually pretty big.
Yeah.
And so, in that case, if you put it in landscape mode, I think it should be actually perfectly fine.
Right.
But tablets will definitely be better if possible.
So what
Yeah.
I was just showing is that I can click on that link, on that button here, to make the window
Yeah.
bigger if you really need to see your students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or to show pronunciation or something.
Exactly.
Right. And the important bit here is that it also expands on the student side automatically. So
Maybe can you show
this is my iPad. You can see
there we
that.
go.
You can see that on my iPad. Oh wait, so you have to.
Oh, no,
It's kind of hard to see. I have to remove my background on Zoom. Sorry.
Okay.
No background. Here we go. So if you
Oh,
look
yeah,
at my
there we go.
Zoom video,
Yeah.
you'll see that my iPad has the videos expanded, just like
It's
Xavier
very
has
similar
them
to what
expanded.
the teacher sees.
Well, the idea is that this is the philosophy that we have: is what the teacher sees is what the student sees at all times. There's no confusion as to do you see this, do you see that.
Right.
So we're putting a lot of effort trying to take that philosophy at heart.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's great. The only hang up I have about this, and Xavier did mention that it's on the development list, is that bar along the top, because that leaves the potential, if the student can see it and have browser or mouse control, they can close you down, can't they?
Did you mean the URL bar at the top? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they could hit the little X, and that then puts a quick stop to your lesson.
Yeah, sure.
Are we talking about the web apps now?
Sorry, wait. So I think before we introduce web apps, are you talking about so they can't control your screen? Just so you know, they don't control your screen, so they don't have access to your tabs on your computer.
Oh, okay.
They cannot change any of that stuff that's up here.
Okay.
They do have their own tabs, of course, because they're on their own, browser.
Okay. So those are outside the limits.
Absolutely. So if they close their own tab, of course, it's like closing the app. They're going to be disconnected.
Yeah, but that's their own fault and control, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
They do not have control of your screen ever.
Okay, perfect.
They can't go into your files. They can't do any of that stuff that typically that Zoom allows.
So there's no way that they could inadvertently close the classroom.
Unless they close their their computer or their app or
Yeah.
they
Okay.
can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't do that. Yeah.
Perfect.
So the next thing we wanted to show you is what we're really proud to show you is those web apps. So you'll see this icon in the bottom of your screen that looks like a globe. And if you click on it, it will open this page. And that is what we call web apps. It's a way for you to browse anything on the web and collaborate with your students on it. So here you'll see we create a few shortcuts. If you want to go to Google, you can just open from here, or then you have lots of content, including the Crystal Clear ESL content. Or you can, if you don't want to use the shortcut, you can simply use this as a regular browser and just type the link of where you want to go.
So this might be a little bit confusing, but when explained, I think is pretty easy to understand. Basically, what Xavier is showing is that Koala has a embedded browser. And this browser that you see, you can see actually that Xavier on his screen share, he has like tabs all the way at the top, and he has one tab, L4, U1, L1 new, and sort of a little bit lower. Do you guys see that?
Yeah, that's my lesson plan.
Exactly. That second layer, that's where you see your lesson plan, that's shared with the student. So everything that you see on the screen from that all the way to the bottom, that's shared. I can show you on my iPad. I see the same thing. Not only do I see the same thing, but I can also interact with it. So maybe Xavier, can you take us to a slide where we can both interact? Yeah.
I can. So this is one of your slides, Crystal. So guide me. Okay, I see a panda dancing. Love this.
You can actually use the 3 little dots on the bottom right-hand corner to navigate.
So is there yeah. Well, so let's take this side, for example. This side is perfect. Whose eyes are these? Typically on Zoom, here you would have to, if you wanted the student to be able to answer, you could have them say it out loud, of course, and then you click as the teacher. You could also share your screen and then, or sorry, give them remote control, but that's a bit overkill. And actually on iPad, I think it does not work very well. It's actually pretty clumsy.
Yes.
On Koala, there's no such question to ask because your student can just tap. Like I can tap on, this looks like a cat. I'll tap cat. And here we go. So everything that you see here, your student can interact with without you having to do anything. That's the idea. That's the whole idea.
So fun.
And touchscreens are supported.
So, and what's really fun is that I have a cursor and Ben also has his own cursor. So I think this is a lake. So I'm moving the lake one while Ben is moving the mountain.
Gotcha.
It was a race to finish.
Yes, and I'm glad Ben won this one because he was
perfect.
This looks like a hill, so I'll move the hill here. Perfect. Wait, no,
so you
that's
see
not a
both.
lake.
So the lake is moving because I'm moving it.
Sorry.
And meanwhile, Ben is moving other components. So we can both collaborate simultaneously. No need to give cursor. No need to fight over the same cursor, even with your students on iPad or any touch.
Yes, that is such a good point, because when you give control on Zoom, if you even just bump your mouse the slightest bit, it changes the control.
Yeah.
And it can get really frustrating for both sides.
It can get horrible.
Yeah.
On top of that, if you want to revoke remote control, obviously you need to have control of your cursor. If your student is moving the cursor while you're trying to revoke control from it, it's literally it's a cursor fight. It's a cursor fight that can last it can last a whole hour maybe.
Okay, so that brings a good question to can you revoke remote control with Koala Go?
So we're working on it.
Cursor control.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be called cursor control here. It would just be like student
teacher control.
Permission, student, the ability for the student to interact.
Right.
And yes, we're adding that. It's not there. It's not there yet, but we're adding it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Exciting.
And it's not going to be available next year. It'll probably be available next week.
Oh my gosh. Incredible. working round the clock over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I see that you already made improvements to that audio video menu that we spoke about, Xavier.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Yes, you see,
blocking.
it's not
That's
blocking anything now.
lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
In about 30 minutes, we're gonna have the ability to. So we realize that the videos on the left here sometimes block content.
Yes.
And so we're adding in the ability to just drag it around.
Oh, that's really cool.
And that'll be
love it.
available at 10 PST, so in 30 minutes.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Yay. Cool. Okay. So speaking of things being in development still, do you have like an introductory pricing plan or anything that sort of accounts for the in development stage?
Good question.
Yeah, so I can absolutely talk about pricing. Actually, we can even do it within the web app. So if you go to teachwithkoala.com and then you go to Koala Go and then pricing, you're going to find the pricing. What did I want to say? There is a free version of Koala that allows you unlimited calls, video, audio, etc. This is the free plan. So there's no limit. You can have as many classes as you want per month. Now there's one thing.
Sorry, Xavier. I just want to insist. The free plan also includes everything on the whiteboard, as many activities as you want, all that stuff right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what does it mean when it says up to 5 student spaces?
That's outdated. It's gonna be changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the one thing that costs us a lot of money in the backend to run in the backend is this collaborative browser that we just showed. So that's why we decided to give 2 weeks of full student control on web apps, which is the feature that we just showed. But after 2 weeks, this expires. And that's where, if you want to keep using that functionality, you'll need to upgrade to the professional package, which is $19 per month. And that gives you unlimited time of student control on web apps.
Okay. Cool. And what is the difference between that professional and the business option?
So the business option is a way for you to have a website. So if you don't want to create a website, you don't want to spend time on WordPress or Wix, building your own website, etc. We will create one for you. So we'll reach out to you, ask you for a profile picture, a bio, a description of the classes that you provide, and we'll create a super professional SEO optimized landing page where parents can go and book classes with you.
Cool. That's great. It's for the real sort of entrepreneurial teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
Cool. Should we show the surprise exam or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Show me the surprise.
So far it was we showed you the functional parts of Koala Go, but it's a little bit boring, and learning online should be really fun. That's very important. That's why we'll get your students to come back. And most of all, that's why we'll get your students to tell their friends about their class, and that will get you more students.
Yes.
And I'm really not really saying that because this is exactly what teachers who use Koala see. Their students tell their friends at school, beg their parents to have a class in Koala. And through that, teachers who use Koala get more students.
Right.
That's simple. So we heard a lot about from teachers that you needed a reward system. So we created a reward system. And I don't know if you can hear the sound, Crystal.
Yeah, you can.
Yes?
We can hear that.
Very good. So whenever I click, there's a little rewarding sound, and you give a star. And once you give 5 stars, there's something that opens up, a button that says Open Playground. So we thought, it's great to give stars, but students, at some point
they get stars all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a little
stars.
boring.
What do I do with them?
Yeah.
So, and I'll let Ben take it from here because this is kind of his brainchild.
Sure. Yeah. Well, so there's essentially a hidden world in Koala, and we call it Playground. And once the teacher has given me all 5 stars, I also see, by the way, the button Open Playground. So I can, as a student, I can have the satisfaction of opening the playground if I want, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to click open playground on my end, and you'll see that obviously it opens on Xavier's end as well. And we end up in a little mini video game. And Xavier has a little avatar right now. It's this little blonde girl. I actually have the same avatar. Oh,
Hey, Ben.
oh, there you go. Hello. How are you?
Very
And
good.
we're both interacting in this world. It's a persistent world, meaning that everything that I do in this world as a student will be remembered. And let's say I build something, I plant something, I pick something, whatever I do. Next session, it will be the way I left it. And actually, it will have evolved a little bit because if I planted plants, that's flowers, trees, whatever, a lot of them will have grown next time.
Ooh.
And yeah, so this is completely it's sort of a sandbox. It's a fun place, and the idea is, as a teacher, you'll be able to give rewards during the class that the student will be able to use in this world, um, whenever you want.
Love
So,
it.
so that's the
We do
idea.
look alike at this
Yeah.
point. It's true. Yes.
Yeah. We're obviously adding avatar customization, so you'll be able to be a little boy, superhero, whatever you want.
Oh,
As a matter
so
of fact, yeah,
the students will be able to customize that somehow
absolutely,
too.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So will there be like a student portal, or how will they?
There's no student portal. It'll be when they're during the class with you. It could be part of the reward. Maybe the
Oh,
first
okay.
time or second time is like, hey, you have 2 minutes to customize your avatar.
Ah, okay,
So
cool.
there's no such thing. Like the idea is that they spend the time with you.
Yeah,
And it's
and
a
you
place,
can use it as a learning
Exactly.
and you can
experience.
use it as a
Yeah.
learning. Absolutely. I think Xavier, because you're teaching French Xav to a kid, and you're using this to give him conversational exercises.
Yeah, exactly. I'm teaching French as a second language to a little girl in Eastern Europe, and for me, this is one of the most productive part of the class is when we're both in playground because you can have a lot of conversation. Like, oh, how many seeds did you collect? Follow me. Let's go to the
Okay.
right. Let's go to the left. Do you see this tree? I am by the little mushroom back there. You know, a lot of
Direct.
conversations.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So it's really
Okay,
and the students don't feel like they're learning; they feel like they're playing, but they're actually learning a lot.
they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of questions about that playground. I've forgotten one of them already. But the other one is, will the teacher have control over the time limit? Like if they're running
Absolutely.
late or whatever, and they only have 1 minute before class is over?
Yeah. So right now the default is 2 minutes. You notice that after 2 minutes, it kicks everybody out. It says, "Oh,
Yeah.
thumbs up." And the idea behind this is that we want it to be the bad guys, not you.
Oh,
Because we know that students are going to love it, and we'd rather that we take the responsibility of saying when it's over. Although you can always close playground at any time you want. And we are going to add the ability for you to customize the timer so you can still set the time while not carrying the responsibility.
before the student is there. That's
Absolutely,
awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and the second thing is if let's say your student really responds in the playground or it enhances the learning objectives for a particular lesson, can you give more than 5 rewards and return within the same lesson to the playground?
Yes.
Well, yeah, you can. When you come back from playground, you can always like go give more stars. It's
Yes.
just right now it's a pretty simple cycle where you give 5 stars. After 5 stars, playground gets accessible. You come
Yeah.
back and you're back to 0, and you can like fill up all the stars
Can
again.
go again.
It just goes like that in a cycle.
Yeah.
We can definitely improve this and make it much more interesting. As a matter of fact, one thing that we can do is allow you, the teacher, to reward them with things that they can actually use in playground.
Ooh, that would be
Like
fun.
a fun mushroom to plant, or a
Yeah.
fun like flower seed, or a fun
Yeah.
tool to build their cabin. I don't know.
Outfit for their avatars.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So another suggestion, which is by no means a priority, would be to have the ability to change the stars to something else. So I've got one student who's obsessed with penguins, and like
Oh.
every reward she ever gets from me is some Giphy penguin.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So to be able to opt out or even put your own in would be
Yeah.
really cool.
I love that. I love that idea. That's actually a really good idea. I teach a 8-year-old little girl math, and she loves cats, and I've been rewarding her just by giving her cat memes. Funny
Yes,
cat
exactly.
memes, and she goes crazy for that. So We're thinking about adding something like that where you can just like reward your student with some memes. That would be cool. Some funny pictures of things.
But then again, the stars are there if you need them, but you have said
Yeah.
that you're integrating the ability to, well, it's already there, I presume. If you can drop in images, you presumably can drop in GIF files, can't you?
Not yet, but we're
It's
gonna be
coming.
we'll
Yeah.
add those. We'll add those.
Yeah.
We can add that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
But it could be fun if we allowed teachers to upload a little image of their choice, and then we replace the star with that image. So Crystal can give 1 penguin, 2 penguins, 3 penguins, up to 5 penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be a funny one. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Crystal. We're not gonna put that at the top of the feature request list at this point.
It's actually a cool idea. I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
I might sneak it in with the next update or something.
Don't worry. I know there's priorities, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so on the less, fun side of things, can you guys talk to me and the other viewers about stability? I mean, one of the great things about Koala is there isn't a download. It's not weighing down your PC. So everything's in the cloud or whatever, which I think does enhance the stability on both sides. But what if things occur and the service drops out? Do you guys have a backup plan, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean it's already pretty robust to that. Like you can probably be offline for like I want to say 30 seconds until it'll just disconnect you.
Okay.
And that's like an extreme case. Now, so the idea of Koala is we understood. It took us a little while, but we understood what kids have at home. They have usually a Chromebook or like a really outdated iPad or
rubbish. Yeah.
They usually have the short end of the stick when it comes to the device, right?
And often they're not anywhere near a router, or often the signal's just not great.
Yeah, there's like 20 walls between them and the router. And then there's like mom and dad is watching Netflix and the older brother is playing a video game. And so they again get the short end of the stick in terms of network. So we know all this, and this is also why we've been really like designing Koala Go from the ground up with that in mind. As a matter of fact, I got a really old iPhone. I got like old computers. We bought a Chromebook just for the sake of putting ourselves in the shoes of students that have, again, bad devices or bad network. So we're building it on those devices that they have.
Yeah. And we're constantly testing. We actually have one person in our team whose goal is to constantly test in very different conditions. We bought the devices that our users have so that we can constantly replicate this.
Yeah.
So robustness is actually at the very center of the goal of Koala Go.
Yeah, that's the highest priority item we have is making sure that we'll definitely like deprioritize features in favor of robustness if we need to.
Yeah.
So that's
because we know that's the most important thing. You're in front of your customers, you're in front of parents who are paying you by the hour, and the technical problem is not acceptable. That's simple.
Absolutely. So so that's like the $1 million question. The $999,000 question is it visible in China? Can Chinese students access this?
So maybe we can give you data on this. How many teachers are using it with Chinese kids?
Gazillions.
On your end, no. So my fiance is a Chinese American ESL teacher, and she works exclusively with kids in China, and she's been using Koala Go nonstop with Chinese kids who don't have VPN, no problem.
Yay! That's amazing news.
Yeah,
love it. Perfect. Well, that's music to our ears, I think, because it sort of ticks all those boxes. Well done, guys. So what's the plan with recording? Yeah,
so I'm going to work on it, and I'll probably get back in touch with you, Crystal, so that you can guide me exactly on the implementation of the feature and where to store it, how to store it. Should we share it by default with the parents or just the teacher, things like this?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much covers all my questions. I'm really excited about the possibilities here and the developments, which are so fast.
Yeah.
That, you know, our product is not perfect, Koala is not perfect, but we really, I think our strength is that we really want to listen to you guys. So
Right.
you and your community, if there is anything that's important, if you have some positive or negative feedback from the students, things that we can improve, etc., this really helps us. So don't go easy on us. Be brutally honest, and that's how we can improve Koala for you and make a really fantastic product. And it's a win-win.
Good. Well, thank you for this. That's brilliant.
Thank you so much.